which is correct? Either or either? What about white or white? How about lawyer versus lawyer? Remember versus remember? What about here? Which is correct? Here as in it's hot in here, or here as in it's hot in here? Or her as in hot in her? So hot in her. What about ax as in to ax a question? Which is correct? Ax or ask? If you had all of the above, ding, 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 you are correct. All native speaker pronunciations, all native speaker words, all native speaker grammatical constructions are equally correct. They're different from each other, sure, but what we know from linguistics, from the scientific study of how language varies and changes, how it all works and fits together, is that all native speaker accents and dialects are linguistically equal. They're all systematic and complex, capable of eloquence and basically serving any purpose their speakers need them to. Different dialects only differ in social prestige, in how highly we rate different ways of speaking, or how much we denigrate or dismiss them. So, either or either. Now, 87% of Brits say I, but only 16% of Americans do. Are they wrong? I mean, obviously not, right? Even if they're a minority, that's still 54 million Americans in addition to those 59 million Brits. How about white? Now, that's even more of a minority pronunciation, both the US and England. But white has history behind it. 200 or 300 years ago, it was dominant everywhere. It was still the majority pronunciation in the US 75 or 100 years ago. But 100 years from now, it probably won't exist in anyone's American or English. It'll be extinct in both places, though it'll probably still exist in Ireland and Scotland and possibly New Zealand. So, which is correct? White or white? What about lawyer and lawyer, or remember versus remember? Now, this is regional. Most of the US says lawyer and remember, but most of the South and parts of the Midwest strongly favor lawyer and remember. Does that make these pronunciations incorrect if nearly everybody in great swaths of the country uses them? I mean, that's a pretty confusing idea, right? That all the native English speakers in vast stretches of territory are all saying words wrong. What does that even mean? So what about here? Here, with an R, is obviously the majority American pronunciation, but nobody thinks here or here with no R is wrong, as long as we're clearly in an English context. That's the majority pronunciation there. And that's really the point. If we don't have any problem grasping that both here and here can be correct because one is American and one is English, then why should we have a problem with the idea of lawyer or remember being just as correct as the alternatives? Because they are. And if here and here are equally correct, then what about her, as in Nellie's? This is a common pronunciation in Black American English in a bunch of places, especially in St. Louis, where Nellie's from, as well as cities like Memphis and Washington, D.C. So again, we have millions of native speakers whose default pronunciation is her. In what meaningful sense can we say that her, therefore, is incorrect? What we're really talking about here is social prestige. It isn't anything objective.